call the meeting to order and I recognize Ms. Sarah to call the roll, please.
Danny Alvis,
Here.
Nancy Barker, John Gibson, Joshua Gillum,
Here.
Tom Kern, Robbie Palmer, and Jason Roach.
Here.
We have 5 members present constituting a quorum.
Thank you. We'll now have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Gillum. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Palmer. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries. There are some copies of minutes kind of scattered about. If anybody would like to look over them, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve them.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Alves.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Gillum. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries. That takes us on now to the resolutions. And it looks like, let me skip through the road list here.
02.
02, okay. 2024-03-02, approval to accept lease agreements to Mike Hathaway, Jeffrey Cottrell, and Mike Caswell for hangars at the Hawkins County Airport.
There's gonna need to be a amendment to that. It should read it should read yearly instead of monthly.
In the third paragraph.
Let the record reflect that Mr. Gibson.
Sorry.
Is that under terms, Sarah? Whereas said lease for Mike Hathaway, yes. A square foot space to yearly. All the monthlies should be yearly. It states it in the lease that they.
Can we, I tell you what, since it's already been filed and placed in the packet, can we go ahead and get it on the floor and then we'll make a motion to amend it to make it proper?
I just wanted to make the committee aware of that because Ms. Marker's not here
Okay.
today. I sent her a copy with the corrections.
Is there a motion to discuss this resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Is there a second?
Robbie got it.
Okay, thank you, Rob. The floor is open for discussion, so if anyone would like to go ahead and make a formal amendment, we'll make sure we get it correct.
You said the amendment needs to change monthly to yearly?
Yes, sir.
All right, in the third paragraph, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll make a motion to change the word monthly to yearly. And the entire, each time that it's mentioned in the third paragraph.
Okay. You've heard the motion. Is there a motion to amend? Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll on that one?
Sure. Jason Roach.
Yes.
John Gibson.
Yes.
Tom Kern.
Yes.
Danny Alvis.
Yes.
Joshua Gillum.
Yes.
Robbie Palmer.
Yes.
Okay.
6 yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Sarah. We're now back on the motion as amended. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll, please?
Joshua Gillum.
Yes.
Robbie Palmer.
Yes.
Danny Alvis.
No.
John Gibson.
Yes.
Jason Roach.
Yes.
Tom Kern.
Yes.
5 yes, 1 no, motion carries.
Takes us to 2024-03-03 amendment of the June 30, 2023 estimated fund balance and reserves on approved 2023-2024 fiscal year budgets. Mr. Mayor, are you able to kind of explain that a little bit once we get it on the floor? I know Eric's not here.
I'd rather have Eric do it, but I can
Is it-
try.
Is it something that we need to do now, or can we wait?
No, we need to do it now, but it's something that's done every year. It just, reconciles all the differences, in the fund.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to hear this resolution.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Gillum. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Palmer. The floor is now open for discussion. So can you just give us a kind of a general rundown?
Well, I'm kind of at a loss here.
You want me to help a little bit more?
Yes.
Thank you.
So basically what it does is when this document was put together, every fund had the estimated amount for 22-23 because that year wasn't actually audited yet. So what's in this book is what you see there in that first column.
Okay.
The second column is after the audit has actually completed their audit for 22-23. And then that's just the changes, that's just those differences.
So so we can look at that second column compared to the first column, and we have $582,000 more dollars in general fund than we thought we had?
Correct. So when you,
Can you write that?
so when you did the budget document and you estimated that how much you were gonna have to take from fund balance or what your expenditures were gonna be, then that's exactly right. When audit was actually completed, then that's the difference.
All right, thank you so much. So, just for the record, the increase there, solid waste had $293,000 more than was projected, drug control $52,000 more. Other special revenue is ARPA, it's $6.7 million, but I understand why it's showing the way it's showing, 'cause that's great money. Highway $763,000 to the good, general debt service $50,000, special debt service $6,000 to the good, education debt service $335,643, and general capital projects $239,700. So that's pretty good news. All right, any other discussion about this resolution?
I guess with just thinking ahead to budget season on this, I guess we could possibly look at, like we did last year, capping some more funds on those. You know, those are pretty good numbers, both of them.
Now this is changing how your 22-23 closed. Has nothing to do with this current fiscal year yet because we still don't know how 23-24 is gonna finish.
Right, okay. Thank you, Ms. Bond. Any others? All right, Ms. Sarah, we'll go ahead and take a call roll.
Jason Roach,
Yes.
Joshua Gillum,
Yes.
Tom Kern,
Yes.
John Gibson,
Yes.
Danny Alves,
Yes.
Robbie Palmer.
Yes.
6 yes, motion carries.
All right, so on to, I guess, the same thing just for the schools, is that correct?
Correct.
2024-03-04, amendment of June 30, 2023 estimated fund balances and reserves approved for 2023-2024 year budgets. I hear a motion.
Make a motion, we send it on.
Thank you, Mr. Gillum. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Floor is now open for discussion. Seeing none, Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll, please?
Tom Kern,
Yes.
Jason Roach,
Yes.
Robbie Palmer,
Yes.
Joshua Gillum,
Yes.
John Gibson,
Yes.
Danny Alves.
Yes.
6 yes, motion carries.
Resolution. Thank you, Mr. Gibson.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Gillum. All right, the floor is now open for discussion.
What is this on county buildings, status?
So back in, when we had that really cold weekend, the freezing temperatures, our heat was down in the courthouse. So
Okay, I was
Those
thinking
are-
that we voted on something on it.
those are water source heat and cooling pumps, and there's water that flows through all of those. There's glycol in there to keep those from freezing. But it got so cold in there, and there was no heat in the courthouse, that some of those units did get froze up. The HVAC guys had to come in and thaw them out. Well, when that happens, things in that loop get loose, like when they warmed that up really quickly, debris got loose in there. So we had a lot of debris floating through that loop, it kept shutting the system down. So they did a test on the system. The test on the system, the glycol is supposed to be at a freeze point of 0. Right now, it's at a freeze point of 28 because when it got low, or when it got so cold, there was more water in there than there was glycol. So they are recommended that we drain that whole loop. We're estimating it's around 1,000 gallons. A 55-gallon drum of glycol is almost $1,000. So not only do we have to pay someone to do this, we have to buy this. And we have had 2 units to go down, one in the commission room, and there is another unit that sits beside of the one in the commission room. They're both 15 years old. They recommend a new one for the one that's broken, the commission room. They're gonna have to move a unit out of the way to replace the one that's broken, because they're stacked 3 units in a row over in one. So they're telling me that when they move that unit out of the way, there's no guarantee it's gonna work when they plug it back in, because it's 15 years old. So I'm looking at maybe possibility of buying 2 new units right there, plus this other issue. Again, all of the HVAC units over there are very old. We've lost probably 5 this year already that I've had to replace with new units. But I moved some money to make those changes, not sure how much it's gonna cost yet. But they've been breaking down last month, was it around $8,000 for repairs on HVAC units last month alone?
That glycol, it's akin to your radiator in your car. You have to flush it every now and then. It doesn't go back 100% glycol, it's a mix. But it's to, like Sarah said, to a freeze point of 0. We have to have it at that, or it's just going to continue to give us problems.
Any other questions about the budget?
I normally don't ever use this other capital outlay, and we always say during budget hearings that we put it there in case of an emergency. Good thing we have it there, because I'm gonna need it this year. And we can't turn the air on until we get the water loop system working, so we really need to get this started.
Sheriff Paulson, just one, I guess, quick question. You're taking out of the gasoline line $39,944 out to add back to maintenance and repair services for vehicles. Did you guys just not use as much fuel as you were projected to use?
Excuse me, sir.
Did you guys just not use as much fuel as you projected you were going to use? You had $39,000 in that line item?
Right.
Just,
Not used, so we might need somewhere else.
yeah.
Plus, when this budget was drawn up, fuel prices were way higher.
That's true. Election season's coming up. All right, any other questions? Miss Sarah, we call roll, please.
Danny Alves,
Yes.
Joshua Gillum,
Yes.
Jason Roach,
Yes.
Tom Kerr,
Yes.
John Gibson,
Yes.
and Robbie Palmer.
Yes.
6 yes, motion carries.
Moving on, 2024-03-06, resolution reference budget amendment for the solid waste fund.
So moved, Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman.
Mr. Alves. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Any discussion?
Is this what we discussed previously, Mark, about the
Monitoring system,
monitoring
yeah.
system?
Yep, one of those unfunded mandate things that
Yeah.
I hate to do.
right, any other questions? Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll, please?
Jason Roach?
Yes.
Joshua Gillum?
Yes.
Danny Elvis?
Yes.
Robbie Palmer?
Yes.
John Gibson?
Yes.
And
Yes.
6 yes, motion carries.
7, resolution reference budget amendment, other special revenue ARPA fund for the Justice Center.
Make a motion, we forward this on.
Thank you, Mr. Gillum. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Palmer. Any discussion? Do you want to touch on that you got an answer to your question? Yeah.
If you'd like.
Why, yeah.
So I sent an email out concerning the bid questions and didn't get a reply. Just wanted to make sure that everyone saw that, make sure that that information didn't change your mind. I didn't have any replies back, so I just wanted to get a confirmation that we're good to go ahead. I'm not trying to change your mind. I just
I
want to make
understand.
sure that you got the information that we have requested.
I did. You talking about the difference in the thicker membrane
Yes.
and
That's a
not,
pretty
right?
substantial difference in the price.
Yeah, that's up to the pleasure of the committee, I'm open to whatever.
Yeah, well, we've already voted to adopt the bid as it is. We would have to rescind that and redo it. And honestly, I don't know if it's still, you're talking about an extra $180,000 basically. I personally am good with what we have.
Okay.
But
Thank
no,
you.
that's the rest of the committee, however y'all want.
Well, we discussed, making sure anybody that's on that road understands that they could be held liable. Take care of any equipment as you go, then
For $180,000, we could hire somebody to walk up our way.
I'll take that job.
That is true. All right, if there's no other questions, Ms. Sarah.
Tom Kern,
Yes.
Bobby Palmer,
yes.
Danny Ellis,
Yes.
John Gibson,
Yes.
Jason Roach,
Yes.
and Joshua Gillum.
Yes.
6 yes, motion carries.
Resolution number 2024-0308, budget amendment, general capital projects fund.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Is there a second? Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll, please?
Danny Elvis,
Yes.
Joshua Gillum,
Yes.
Tom Kern,
Yes.
John Gibson,
Yes.
Jason Roach,
Yes.
Robbie Palmer.
Yes.
6 yes, motion carries.
Resolution number 2024-0309, general purpose school fund budget amendment.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. For a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Gillum. Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll?
Joshua Gillum,
Yes.
Jason Roach,
Yes.
Robbie Palmer,
Yes.
Tom Kern,
Yes.
John Gibson,
Yes.
and Danny
Ms.
Elvis.
Sarah, I need to change my vote.
Okay,
Abstain.
okay. And Danny Elvis, yes.
Yes.
5 yes, 1 abstain, motion carries.
All right, moving on to school transportation fund budget amendment 2024-0310.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Gillum. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Sarah, will you call the roll?
Robbie Palmer,
Yes.
Joshua Gillum,
Yes.
Jason Roach,
Abstain.
Tom Kern,
Yes.
John Gibson,
Yes.
and Danny Elvis.
Yes.
Abstain, motion carries.
Is there any other business to come before the committee at this time?
There's something I'd like to run by, it's not on the agenda or anything. We approved the money back a year and a half ago to purchase 2 vans for the Hawkins County Court. Mayor DeWitt, can you bring us up to par on that, please?
Well, the VFW's finally realized get their money. I think Bulls Gap filed first, and the other one got wind that they could get the money if they just filed. So that's moved along, and they should be getting their van.
Actually, I think that I got a picture of a van.
Yeah, they got the money.
One of them has bought one.
Okay, probably Bulls Gap.
Yeah, one's already been purchased.
Good. I spoke with the VFW Churchill commander, and he said that he had not, he was having trouble finding a four-wheel drive that he wanted. So,
Four-wheel drive van?
yes, sir,
Wow,
that's what I was told.
I didn't even know there was such a thing.
That's what I was told.
But they've got the money to buy it with.
Yes.
All right.
I think,
Nancy.
I think Nancy has something.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought I was supposed to be on there, but it's, I had presented to the personnel committee, I think it was last week, I can't remember when I did what, for the request for an additional employee with a very minimal cost to the county, due to, the governor signing a bill back in 2022 that gives the county clerk's office, $3 per title that we're able to print in our office. For those of you that were not in that committee, I brought a copy of that public chapter so you can see it.
I apologize, I misunderstood, I thought we were gonna hear this at the budget hearing.
It was very confusing,
Well,
because I had to go back and ask.
We sent it to the budget committee now because her need was a little more urgent. She was wanting the authorization to do it.
Okay.
So Eric was for budget.
Yeah, and Eric's was for budget.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that's how-
okay, it was confusing. So if you just look at that, it just says receiving and forwarding to the division each application of certificates of title, including all acknowledgements of signatures thereunder, the sum of $8.50, provided that $3 of the fee must be earmarked for the provision of services directly related to titling and registration, and must not revert to county general fund at the end of the budget year if unexpended. So basically, that is a reserve account for use by the county clerk. And I presented to you all, I think I'm just gonna use the same numbers. If you look at, I think I got all my numbers. Well, give me a second here. I don't know if I brought all my papers or not.
I think you're bringing in about 47,000.
Yes. If you looked at from July 1st, 2022, when we started, until June 30th, 2023, we had, it was right at $47,000, so that's a year. And then, of course, we've gone from that next 6 month period, so from July 1st, 23 to the end of December 23, we brought in an additional 22,000. So it's paying for itself. I don't want to overextend. What I'd like to do is hire another clerk, pay for it out of reserves. The only thing I would ask the county for is to pay the benefits section, because I don't want to overextend myself and say I can pay for everything. Eric guesstimated around $5,000 a year for that, and then there's no way to know until I find that employee how much insurance is gonna cost, you know, whether they just need a single, maybe they don't even need insurance, I don't know. So that's what I would like to ask the committee for, is I can spend the money, but I would like to have the county help me with that little part of it. I desperately need another clerk for Churchill. Didn't think I was going to, but I don't know, the business up there is just really, really picked up. And when I have two clerks working during a 3-hour period for lunch, so if you've got one clerk working the front desk and then you've got the drive-through going, which is really picked up there, it's really hard to take care of business during that period of time. If allowed, that clerk would train in Rogersville. I'd just swap some people around for a little while, so that's my request.
Is it 42%?
42% of my business is handled up there. We do all the accounting in Rogersville, but 42% of the transactions are done in Churchill. I did have some numbers.
And it's really picked up since the drive-through was allowed.
Well, it's drive-through, and I think that building, in my opinion, is just so much more accessible. You know, we have, in addition to the work, you know, people coming in and doing transactions in person, we do a lot of dealer work. We do a lot of the dealer work from, some of it from Kingsport and Johnson City's done up there. Of course, some people mail it to Rogersville, you never know. So in addition to that, we have dealer work, we have out-of-state dealer work. You know, we do boats and marriage license and everything. From January 1st of 23, this is a calendar year, to December 31st of 23. We did 40,350 transactions in Rogersville. And again, this doesn't include business license and marriage license and all that stuff. And 28,010 in Churchill. And then from July 1st of 2023, so a 6-month period, we did, what was 42.1% in Churchill and 57.9% in Rogersville.
So a pretty dramatic increase.
I'm sorry, I think so. I think so. And so that's my thing. My offer is to pay the majority of it out of this reserve account, because that's what it's for, is title and registration. Rather than waste it on something else, and I think that would be a good use of the money. And like I said, I'm asking that the county pick up the benefits part of that and any health insurance that they might need.
So if we vote on that today, there's not a resolution in the packet to reflect that. So it would have to either go as an out of order, or we just have to hear it again at the next budget meeting.
Yeah, and that's fine. I want to get somebody in place, but I want to make sure I pick the right person to, you know, I've hopefully I'll get a lot of resumes coming in for that position, I hope. And I want that person to understand that they would start out in Rogersville to kind of learn some of the ins and outs of everything, because I've got a lot of senior girls that work down here that, you know, would be able to help guide that person.
And I think we discussed in personnel, you're on first. I think we talked about the timeline that it wouldn't be on, in this packet, so it basically give us 2 more chances to look over numbers. So we got budget hearing and then the budget committee meeting, and then we got the full commission in April. So kind of give 2 more opportunities to see where numbers are falling. And
Okay, so you just want to do this as a upcoming informational, and then we'll consider it and bring it up at the next budget.
And, you know, like I said, I don't have a problem it starting next fiscal year, but I want to get things in place so I can start getting resumes and start looking at people that may potentially like to work in that office.
All right, thank you, Ms. Davis.
Thank you.
Is there any other business to come before us?
Do we need to vote on that, you think?
I don't think
No,
so.
that's information.
Because it's gonna be put in the packet for next month anyways.
Gotcha.
And we'll vote on that at the next budget committee.
So I need to get someone to sponsor that resolution, or will it come out of this committee? We voted on it, they voted on it in personnel.
Personnel,
Might
so,
be the chair of the personnel committee.
yeah,
not
probably
personnel.
Nancy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
do we need to discuss anything from the road committee? No.
I don't think so, not until there's not really any hard rock numbers or anything like that for now.
Do you have anything, Sheriff?
Did you say, Commissioner Gillum, you'd sponsor it? You'd introduce the resolution?
No, I said Nancy probably
Nancy
would.
Barker, which is
She's
the chairman of the
personnel.
personnel committee.
All right,
We just have to get it ready.
I guess we'll hear a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Mr. Palmer.